The Holocaust has been proved undoubtedly by numerous evidences. This is a word used just like in auto text. However, in practice there will be few people who specifically know the grounds to prove the Holocaust. Numerous evidences. I will explain in sequence what kind of things they are. The first is photo. As a premise, photographs are things that are difficult to establish as evidence by themselves. However, I cannot say that there is no value as evidence at all. The most typical and simple objection to the denial of the Holocaust is there are pictures of mountains of mass dead bodies, so I will decide to finish it from the start. If you've watched this video properly from the beginning, you should already be able to answer this question. As I already explained, this picture that shocked the world was taken at the Bergen-Belsen camp. However, the misunderstanding that this corpse is the victim of the Holocaust will still exist widely. Even in 1979, West German magazine Quick posted this picture with false captions attached. It is completely opposite to general prejudice. Such a situation where mountains of dead bodies are piled up did not happen in a place that was regarded as an extermination camp such as Auschwitz. Therefore, such pictures do not remain. In the first place, it is said that the victims of gassing were completely incinerated by incinerators or other methods, and no evidence was left. Therefore, if there are pictures left, contradiction will arise rather from the standpoint of the official version. To be exact, there are two pictures of Auschwitz's mountain of corpses. Since these two information sources are the same, this can be treated as one case. As a premise, it is a well-known fact that a mass death occurred in the camp. Therefore, the photograph of the corpse itself cannot be the proof of intentional killing. The following is an analysis based on that. It seems like this is a photograph of the state of incinerating dead bodies in the field. In the first place, it is different from the official version. Because all corpses killed by gas are supposed to be burned in an incinerator or pit. They should not be stacked on the ground and baked like this in this way. This image is an enlargement of the photograph below. These are the 4 points. First, there is a fence post in this part, but it is bent linearly from the middle. However, the Auschwitz fence post is a form that is bent loosely like this. Then, it is thought that this picture was taken at least in a place different from Auschwitz. Secondly, this man's arms are unnaturally long and it looks like there are 2 elbows. Third, the silhouette of this man is very dark and does not match the surrounding brightness at all. Fourth, it is an object like a corpse at the foot of a man. Is this humanity? Or is it an alien? Or, to me, this looks like a poor illustration, not a photograph. Is my eyes wrong? After all, if it is interpreted that this whole image is illustration which modified the photo, all questions are solved. There are other pictures clearly modified in this way. The most malignant example is the picture that Simon Wiesenthal Center published on the official website in 1991. As these prisoners were being processed for slave labor, many of their friends and families were being gassed and burned in the ovens in the crematories. The smoke can be seen in the background. There was such a caption attached to this. However, this smoke-emitting object was a fence post instead of a chimney in the original picture. Next, look at the next image. It is an aerial photograph taken on August 25, 1944, which is very famous in the controversy of the Holocaust. The Orthodox scholars argued that evidence of gas execution chambers is present in this part of the picture. I will take up this subject again in the later video. This time, I will focus on this part. Here is the next image to enlarge. What does this look like? It looks like a group of prisoners, but that is impossible. It is obvious when comparing it with the picture taken in September 1944. This black lump covers the roof of the barracks. Then, what is this lump? This raises a suspicion that someone added to the photograph. In this picture, there are also black lines that are supposed to be rows of prisoners. Here is a trace of zigzag like a trace with a pencil. The problem is the source of this doubtful picture. Surprisingly, this was submitted by the CIA in 1979. Even CIA's work, there is something complicated like this. Well, I will finish the explanation about the photographs around here. The next is verification of physical evidence. However, only one case has been submitted from the standpoint of the official version. It is hair clasp, and metallic cover of galvanized, submitted as evidence in the Auschwitz trial in Krakow, Poland in 1946. According to a survey by Krakow Forensic Institute, reactions exposed to cyan gas came out from these. The scene, which is generally associated with the keyword Holocaust, hair, is probably the following picture. Well, do these mean that this owner of the hair was gassed? Everyone who remembers the contents of the previous video will already have answers to this. That's right. This is rather reverse. Lice infecting typhus settle on the hair. A lot of hairy mountains are rather evidence to support the prevention of typhus in camps, that is, trying to reduce the deceased. In a letter to the concentration camp director on August 6, 1942, the Nazis ordered the reuse of hair longer than 20 centimeters. Because there is a high possibility that the louse has settled down, these are naturally insecticide treated with cyan gas. It is the same as the reaction of cyan gas from clasp and metal cover. It was natural that such results would be obtained because the camps were treated with a large amount of cyan gas at the camp. The question is whether reaction will come out from the wall of the room, which is called gas execution chambers. In fact, in the letter attached to the sample sent to the laboratory at this time, a sample of mortar taken from the gas execution chambers was also enclosed. And it was stated that these cyanide compounds should be examined. However, there is no inspection result in the report. Probably, because the results were not what they wanted. Is not it concealed? So, did traces of gassed corpses have been discovered? These have not been confirmed at all either. Mass burial sites will be discovered if the official version is correct, but these have not been discovered. An interesting investigation by the Polish authorities was submitted during the Majdanek trial held in Jerusalem in 1987. In the official version, it is said that there was Treblinka II, which was an extermination camp, and Treblinka I, which was not so. However, according to this survey, a burial site of 10,000 people was discovered from one that is said to have not been massacred. On the other hand, two that is considered to be an extermination camp, only found burial ground of only 2,000 to 4,000 people. According to the official version, there must be a cadaveric burial place that is said to be 800,000 to 3 million in this area. In October 1999, the expert team explored underground of Treblinka extermination camp using underground radar. This device can detect the presence of objects and disorder of formation due to digging up to 65 feet deep. According to the data, there was no disorder of the formation in the ground. In 1966, the Auschwitz Museum entrusted a company in Poland to analyze Auschwitz soil samples. However, the result was not announced for some reason. However, a few years later, a few copies of the photocopy from this report leaked, and it seems he got into the hands of German revisionist publisher Udo Weylandy. He made a comment on his magazine and made it public. According to it, traces of bones and hair were found from several places. However, since then the Auschwitz Museum has not done any such investigation. Or they may be afraid that inconvenient results will come out. In conclusion, we have not confirmed any photos or physical evidence to prove the Holocaust, the unconditional killing against Jews. If so, what is the numerous evidences that the Orthodox scholars assert? Is it still documents? In the next video, I will explain this theme.